Okay, welcome to the 4th dev blog on Global Gambit. We're going to be doing this one on information panels. So before we begin, we'll just do a quick recap on where we got up to in the last blog. So we have 3 scripting files, main.gd, nation manager, and regions.json. All of our main block of code at the moment is currently in main.gd, which includes camera controls, includes region highlighting and region clicking. In Nation Manager, we initially stuck all our nations in the main, but it was getting quite big. So Nation Manager now has key bits of which country is going to own what region. And then we got regions.json, which is basically a hex color for each region, so the computer knows which is a region you can click on. Okay, so the regions is probably the biggest one, but if you run it, just to prove it works. Okay, so we've got a couple of test countries there. Well, actually, we've got 4 test countries: United Kingdom, France, Germany, Spain, and Italy. You click on a region, it highlights. You can click on other regions, you just don't show any ownership at this point. When I get some time, I'll start populating a little bit though. Right, goals for today. We're going to do a little bit of code tidy, and then we're going to click a region to bring up an information panel. So let's move the camera code into its own script, kind of like what I did with the nation manager. This will remove some of the code from the main and make our program a little bit more modular. So we're going to right click scripts, add a new script, and we're going to call it camera controller. Okay, so there it is, right next to Nation Manager. In the main, we're going to make some slight alterations and remove some code in there because we're moving it all to the camera controller now. So first of all, to connect to camera controller, so that's what it looks like before. Now that's what it looks like, so we're adding variable camera controller, so every time you see camera underscore controller, it refers to that. In our function ready, we're going to use that variable to make a new camera. In our unhandled input, we're going to remove all that zooming stuff because we're going to put it in the camera controller script file, so it is replaced with one line of code now. And all of that camera control stuff right at the bottom, we are going to remove, so eventually it should just look like this, just a function physics process with the variable in front of it, so nowhere to go. In the script file, in the camera controller.gd, all of that code we removed is now in here. So there's all our variables with the pan speed, zoom speed. There's our if statements for going up, down, left, and right. And below that is our zooming in and zooming out. So pretty much everything that we had originally. Our main looks a little bit clearer, still a bit of code in it, but we are trying to reduce it as we can. There's our camera code. There's our nation code. And there's our regions. Now, normally when you do a big change like this, it might break it, so we're just going to test it one more time. And you can still see we can move around, we can still zoom in, zoom out. So, perfect, done. Okay, next up, we're going to click a region to bring up an information panel. Okay, so first of all, we're going to add a child node, which is going to basically be a canvas, and we're going to rename that canvas to UI. It's basically just Godot's way of setting up a UI kind of thing. And then inside UI, we're going to add a child node to it called, well, basically it's a panel, but we're going to rename it to Region Information Panel. And inside that Region Information Panel, we're going to have a container with some labels and a button. So there's our VBox container. And there's our 3 labels, and to add a button you just once again add a child node and it makes buttons like that. Same with the labels, you just right click add child node, and if it gets too cluttered you can close, kind of minimize it and then maximize it so you can access it. Right, this is the label I'm going to use: region name label, owner label, extra info label, and close button. Okay. So with all of that set, we're going to attach a scripting file, and we're going to call this Region Information Panel. Region Info Panel. Now it has to be attached to script. You can't just make it in the scripts because we need to connect it to the node. However, you can still drag that attached script into scripts. So there you go. So I've got another modular thing. So this is kind of the code we've got inside. We've declared 4 variables that link to the labels. And then basically we're going to have the panel hidden at start. And then when we run it, it's going to show the panel with some bits of text in there saying who controls it, font color and stuff. And then you can see function hide panel is visible by default. So it's set to false. Okay, so in the main, so linking this all together, we're going to need this variable right here at the start. So that means info_panel is going to basically link to that scripting file. And then we are going to add this to our unhandled function. So info panel show panel will mean the panel will show. So if you click on something, it will show that panel. Otherwise, it's going to hide the panel. So that's added to where we were doing the region highlights and stuff. Okay, so now when you click it, it pops up with a little window in the corner. It's not perfect. I would like the window to be a little bit bigger, but it does show different bits of information. We've also got this bit that says future stats here, which is what we're going to try and just finish off in a second to show that we can add a bit more than just who owns it and what the region name is. So just as a little bonus objective for today, we're going to add some population data to show in the panel. Now we're not going to do this in the best way because it's going to take me a while to rejig everything, but in the info panel we're just going to hard code 2 bits of data, the populations of London and Paris. So London has a population of about 8.9 million, Paris has a population of 2 million. So in our region information panel code, we just dumped it in there. Right, now when you click on that, any region that isn't London, it will just say population can't find. But if you click on London or Paris, it will tell you exactly. So there you go, population data not available, but clicking on Paris and London showed the correct data. Right, there you go. So clicking on region brings up an information panel. Not perfect. I would like to make it bigger and better and more obvious. But we've added some population data to it as well. Right, that's the end of this very small blog post. Probably one of the shorter ones. But let me know what you think. Any questions? Let me know in the comments. Other than that, I will see you next time.